So, are we filming?
Yeah, we are filming.
Okay.
Just tell about yourself, just about your life.
I prefer questions because...
Yeah, good. So you are in Brasov now. You came for the first time in Romania.
First time in Romania.
What do you know about Romania?
Oh, I hate to sound like a cliche, but, you know, of course, Dracula doesn't have much to do with this place. It's like Romeo and Juliet in Verona. Romeo and Juliet is a fictional story, and yet people line up for this window where Romeo and Juliet supposedly went. Didn't happen. And of course, Dracula, it's a stretch that happened here. So if you get rid of that, I know about the Carpathians in Transylvania, but again, I don't know enough about Romania, and that's why I really accepted this invitation by Dan to the film festival, was to see this country, because I knew it was something interesting here. I've got some friends from here. I've always been curious about this section of Europe, hidden over here, almost going to Asia. I'm here to learn.
Where do you used to live?
I'm from the USA. I'm from a small town in North Carolina. I grew up in the late 1960s, early 70s as a young boy, very fascinated by the world, the big cities, the mountains and nature, the North Pole. And so I left. I went to art school and photography school briefly and dropped out. And I moved to Hollywood and Manhattan, New York City, and have been moving around ever since.
So, and now, right now, Carolina? You live in Carolina?
No, I have lived in Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, 2 times, once in the 90s and now again, currently.
Good. So, how did you get to photography, to the art, to music? Who are you in this kind of art spots? You belong to what?
I'm lucky that I had, you know, we had a very simple, I had a simple childhood, but I had parents that, you know, when I think back now, they showed me everything. They both had fantastic taste in music. Mom and Dad, sometimes similar, sometimes very different. Still to this day, they were a big influence on very good music. You know, old movies, especially with my father and my aunt. And my father had these old Life magazines that he had from the 1940s. And of course, they had big black and white photographs of the North Pole and Paris and Brigitte Bardot and probably a couple mountain climbers and a French Alp or 2. And, you know, I was a little boy. I would lay on the floor looking at these big magazines, just dreaming, small town boy dreaming about adventure and travel. At some point, it occurred to me that somebody was taking these photos, and that meant that they were going to these places, and that meant maybe they had a job doing this. I was figuring it out as I got older. And I think pretty soon it just seemed natural. It seemed like photography was at once an art, something that could be historically intertwined. It could give me you know, an avenue to travel and explore and maybe make a living.
And here you are.
And here I am, and it worked out okay.
How is your future? How do you think about this? Are you thinking about your future? You have plans normally?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the future because I just, my father just died a few months ago.
Very sorry.
And many friends have been dying lately. I just turned 61, which, you know, I still feel good, but you can't you can't help to not think about these things. You can't not help to think about them. The future, you know, I just want to keep living for now. The future could end in 10 minutes or tomorrow or next week. You know, I think quality of art, passion, climbing, music, friends, people, I think it's very important to not sit around in your bathrobe all day, and just stay involved with projects. But I've been thinking about it since COVID. You know, I had a very, very active life, like many people did, and COVID just stopped me. And I had a lot of time to think and catch up. I think I suddenly realized I was, you know, 60, because I felt 20 up until then. I was living like I was 20. COVID made me think about the future and my aging parents and my aging friends, and it's kind of what my book, The Climbers, is about. It's not so much about climbing, it's about how you live and how you age.
How did you get to this concept of this book? How did you met these climbers? Many of them are not alive anymore, as I understood.
Well, the concept came much later, but the original idea, it wasn't a concept, it just was my innocent way that I usually fall into things, enthusiasm, naivete. But like the music that I had documented for 40-something years, I was always drawn to musical history. I mean, I like the history of everything, of Italian cooking, of music. And so with climbers, and I'm a climber, I was just naturally loved reading about all the history of climbing. And so in the 90s, I realized there were two climbers still alive from the 1920s in the California Sierra Nevada mountains, which is my original home base and obsession, a lot of history there. And so I just went to find them and do some proper portraits of them. They were very old at the time. One of them was in a wheelchair. And so I got them, and that was it. It's like butterfly collecting. Sometimes I go in and do these beautiful little things and I hide them in a closet. But then I went back and I got another one in the Sierra Nevada and another one. And it just kind of silently, quietly, nobody cared about it, nobody wanted to know about it, but I just started doing it. And then I got another American, but it wasn't from the California scene, it was from the East Coast. And so I thought, okay, well, maybe I'm doing this little story about American climbers. And then a little bit later on, I got Riccardo Cassin, the great Italian legend from the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s on. And then I realized I was on this international project, still very quiet, personal project. But over time, I started thinking about what I was doing, and these aging people, they were dying not long after I photographed them sometimes, and just, sorry for the long answers, but it made me think about life and living, and like the musicians that I photographed, these people devote a lot of time and energy to be good at their craft, and it starts to be about aging and the way you live your life.
Good. I saw your book yesterday. I saw the Italian part, but the first book was American one. So
the first book
tell
came...
me about, you told me you had some problems with, any problems interested me.
I think any, I want to be kind, but I think any author, any artist is going to have problems with the people they collaborate with. That's no mystery. But look, we made a beautiful book. It won the grand prize at Banff Film Festival, which I still thank Banff to this day for that prize, because I think it really opened up, even the fact that I'm here in Romania is connected to this prize at Banff. So, we did a book that I'm very happy with. It was normal complications when you have a stubborn artist and a publisher, or maybe a gallery. I think it's just normal. You butt ends. So, I would like to think good thoughts. We did a beautiful book that I'm proud of.
What's your gear? What's your technical things, issues, whatever, with what you work? Yeah.
Well, I grew up, I was born in '63, so all my early years were film, analog. There was no digital at all. And so I learned with that equipment and medium, and I just, I was a big fan of studying the great masters, and all of them, from the 1800s and the early 1900s, and the Europeans and the Americans, everybody, Japanese. And it was film, analog, from wet plate processes to, all the processes, fascinated by the mediums, the historical arc and the change of photography. So that's what I love, and that's what turns me on. I still use that equipment. The entire Climbers book was shot with analog film, sometimes my Leica, sometimes the Rolleiflex, and some other cameras. But I shoot digital for jobs nowadays because that's what people want, but it doesn't excite me the way analog does.
You make your own post-production?
Yeah. At this point, I wish somebody could do it for me, but it just is quicker. I know what I want. For me to tell people and correct them, it ends up being better if I just do all the printing. I always have, in the darkroom, and now, with digital archival printing, I have to do it. It's part of the picture taking process,
Still, photographers, professional photographers, can make a living from photography?
I don't know. There's a friend of mine in America. He runs, he was a big photo editor in America for the big magazines.
He has a name?
Yes, I'll come. I just, sorry, I'm in another world right now, but he was a big photo editor for big New York magazines in the last heyday of, before magazines took a dive, in the 90s and 80s, 2000s. Anyway, he runs a blog now, and he is very in touch with the state of photography. And he posted on Instagram the other day. A Photo Editor is the name of his blog, if you want to check that, but I'm blanking on his name.
I know it, yeah.
So he was interviewing all these photographers, and they said this year, 2024, was the worst year. All these photographers, they wrote in to him and said this was the worst year ever, including the worst of COVID. I don't know, man. I just thank God that I saw the last of the magic days of magazines and analog. I don't know what people do. Magazines don't pay anything, or they pay the same that they paid 30 years ago. What I realized with my book is that if you do have a story, you can do something. You don't have to rely on the old things that we always relied on, waiting for a phone call, for a job, for a magazine. I think if you're creative, you can create the infrastructure for yourself as an artist. And I think maybe it's coming back to being like a painter instead of the traditional photographer, But it's scary times, I guess, if you're wanting to make money. I feel sorry for young kids who are wanting to do it. I don't know what they're going to do.
Okay, but back to you and to your project. Do you think, especially now, to a project, are you working something right now on something, or you have an idea to check something else also?
I mean, I have on my computer, I have lists and folders of ideas. I made a new one today. There's always these little ones and medium ones and big ones. But the thing that, you know, this Climbers book surprised people because it was my first book, and everybody knew me for doing this music documentation since I was a young boy. I shot Benny Goodman when I was 13. People thought my first book would be this music book. So I need to do that book. I'm just excited about new stuff, and this is all old work. It has to be done. I'm not even sure if it's going to be a music book per se. It's just going to be some kind of memoir, retrospective mess of stories and writing and a lot of the music stuff, but other things too. I think just a music book is kind of boring in a way. I think it just needs to be my work. But the new stuff is more writing and more kind of out there travel. I feel like I'm just now getting good at things. I feel like I'm just figuring it all out. I feel like I'm finally really good at photography. I mean, I feel like I'm at my best. So I'm excited and enthusiastic, but I have some secrets that I can't disclose right now.
So you like to travel, you like the life, you like the world. What do you not like?
What do I not like? Well, there's lots of things. Loud noises that I don't approve of. What do I not like? Oh, I don't know. The list is long, but mostly what I like is, like you say, traveling. I'm more enthusiastic than ever about traveling. I feel like especially this last 10 years or so, I've gotten very good at it. I feel more comfortable at it. You know, it's just these life skills you pull together with photography and climbing and music. It never ends. It's just, I feel lucky as a young man that everything that I liked then, I still like now, and I feel like I'm just getting things figured out. And that's what I'm happiest about, is like, things are working. I got a book. You know, it's confusing when you're young. Will I ever how do you do a book? Why would anyone do a book with me? But then, I mean, it sucks getting older in a way because your body starts hurting, but you also get a certain amount of wisdom and confidence about some things that is relaxing more than when you're young. So I'm liking that period right now. I hope I don't die of a heart attack before this interview's done.
Yeah. How do you take care of you in this meaning? You make sport, you make whatever, you eat special food, you have a diet. It's very important for a photographer who is like you. I'm thinking also on me.
Well, it is important because, you know, again, when you hit a certain age, you notice your friends who are almost like you, but they're just a little bit less taken care of. It starts to show up. I mean, in the old days, I was drinking and drugging and smoking and sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And when you're, you know, young enough, you can do all that and climb and be in shape. But, you know, I quit smoking 5 years ago. You know, I still like to have a naughty night on occasion. But I just, you know, taking care of myself, you know, exercising, eating better.
What drugs you like mostly?
Oh, I liked all of them.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't quit anything. I'm just currently not really doing any. Why, do you have some? No, to be honest, I mean, I really, like, especially COVID, I really learned to start loving getting up before the sunrise. I just did the Alta Via 2, a big hike through the Dolomites, and getting up before, when it's still dark, and hiking hard. That's what I like. The hangovers are not fun anymore, you know. I used to never get hangovers, and now I just naturally, I didn't really quit anything. I just kind of enjoyed not being fucked up all the time.
Yeah, I understand. I'm sorry. Yeah, I understand you.
Pardon the French.
Tell me, what? Ask yourself a question and spontaneously, just like this, and answer it, please.
Ask myself a question.
A question, yes. You are me, and answer.
Oh my God, I'm not good at this. You're the interviewer. You have to do that part.
Okay, so back to drugs. They are a medium. No, why not? Everybody take it. They are a medium for a photographer, for an artist, to grow, to help seeing different, and then you come down and you are boring artist. Could be, say like this.
Yeah.
Tell me about this.
Well, you know, I was completely, you know, in you know, admiration or you know, influenced by all the great, you know, Baudelaire and Charles Bukowski, and you know, the list is endless of the debauched poets, artists, you know, painters, and I studied all of them, not just their work, but their lifestyle, and my friends, and that was, you know, that was this life that we were after, the life of an artist. We, you know, studied not just the art, but everything, how to do it. And of course, you're young and stupid, and you sometimes you imitate. But you know, we had a blast. I don't regret anything. I had a fantastic, dirty, messy young life, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. But at the end of the day, do I think that helped me be creative, more creative? I don't know, because I think all these things that really turned me on and that I studied was from like 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 10, 11 years old. I wasn't doing drugs yet. But you know, all those social nights, smoking and drinking with friends and comparing notes and being in bars and talking, yeah, I mean, to me it was required, and I don't regret it, and it introduced me to so many new people and ideas. Don't try this at home, kids, but that's the way I did it.
Do you have a family?
Yeah.
Good. If you begin new now, let's see you are now 18. What should you
do? Do I have a family of my own? No.
Yes, no. Okay. So you are 18 now and you begin your fantastic life. What will you do differently to 61, to this age?
I don't know. I mean, I don't have any kids, and I don't have any siblings, so I won't have a niece or a nephew, unfortunately. But I do have an honorary niece and nephew. And they're both about 18, and they're starting to, you know, my niece just went to college in New York City just now, 2 weeks ago. And you know, I kind of worry about her, you know, because I can't believe I survived and didn't die. I mean, 1,000 times. Sometimes I wake up at night going, oh, God, that one didn't kill me either. I don't know. I think, you know, sometimes you don't have confidence when you're young, and you will, there was a lot of stupid stuff that you do because you haven't figured out yourself. And there's some peer pressure, and, you know, you're figuring things out. But it's part of the learning process. I don't know if I would change much. I might mess up the recipe. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm the next greatest artist in the world, but then again, maybe things would have been worse. Had I done things that were more healthy back then, maybe I would have become more boring now. You just don't know. So I'm kind of nice not touching anything. It's okay. It's good enough the way it turned out. I will leave 18-year-old me alone. Kiss every girl.